They say history repeats itself, right? I want to take us back to the year 1918. What major world event was happening in 1918? If you said World War I, you'd be right. Now, World War I came to a pretty rough ending. They essentially ran out of soldiers to fight. Not because of warfare, but because they were in close quarters in the trenches and the stresses of war. All these soldiers were getting sick and dying from this thing that's going to become known as the Spanish flu. And to make matters worse, when fighting ceased, they had to ship all these soldiers back to their home, and that spread this Spanish flu all over the country, all over the world. This started the worst epidemic in history. And to give you an idea, the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic was so massively devastating that American life expectancy in 1918 dropped by 12 years. That year alone, influenza is estimated to have taken more than 50 million lives. That's more, not even coming close to the Black Plague in Europe. In addition, 40% of the US Navy and 26% of the Army were incapacitated by the disease, and it even played an extended role in the negotiation of the Treaty of Versailles. Hopefully I'm saying that right. In 1919, when President Woodrow Wilson was struck down by the flu in the middle of his talks and became too ill to defend his 14-point blueprint for world peace. His absence allowed more vengeful arguments to prevail, which helped pave the way for World War II. Not only did this flu kill millions of people by itself, but it indirectly played a role in World War II, killing even more people. Devastating effects. Now, because of the extent of the disease, medical facilities, of course, were pressed for resources, something that we're trying to prevent right now with the coronavirus, and unfortunately had to deny admissions into hospitals to many patients. Now, they were able to pick and choose who they wanted to treat, and they usually picked the ones that had the best chance of survival. They didn't want to choose the sickest of the sick because they didn't want to waste resources on people that they were already pretty much dead. And so we look back at chiropractic texts at this time, in the year 1918, the Spanish flu epidemic, and it's well documented that this epidemic essentially saved chiropractic. It was just something new. It had maybe been around for a couple decades. Not many people knew about the chiropractors. And it was a common refrain among chiropractors at that time. I was going to go out of business when the flu epidemic came. But when it was over, I was firmly established in practice. Why? Chiropractors got fantastic results from influenza patients at that time, while those under medical care, quote unquote, died like flies around. And the statistics reflect a most amazing and miraculous state of affairs. In the state of Iowa, medical doctors treated 93,590 patients with 6,116 deaths. That's a loss of 1 out of 15. 1 out of 15. In the same state, 4,735 patients were treated by chiropractors with a loss of only 6 cases. A loss of 1 patient out of every 789. 1 out of 789. And remember, these were the sickest of the sick. They were being denied into medical facilities, so they had no choice but to go to the chiropractor down the road. So what's the lesson? Chiropractic helped fight the last pandemic. They were taking care of, like I said, the sickest of the sick. And they lost 6 patients out of nearly 5,000. So in a way, the Spanish flu did save chiropractic. Not because people didn't look at chiropractors as someone for their aches and pains. They looked at them as something essential for health, recovery, and life. How do we change that thinking? How do we bring that thinking back today? Well, we have to understand why chiropractic is essential to health, recovery, and life. So stay tuned for the next video. Again, here at Wilderness Wellness Chiropractic, we are a resource for you, for health. If you want any of the resources we talked about today, reach out. Be happy to give them to you. I'm so excited for chiropractic at this time. I can barely contain it. Awesome. We'll see you next.